There have been many changes in regulation and taxation that have affected property developers over the past couple of years, as you'll be fully aware of. Do you think these changes have had an overall...
This question.
You don't want to like this one?
Actually,
You can answer honestly whether you like it or not, though, because we need to know.
Yeah.
Do you think that these changes have had some positive effect on development and the ability of developers to increase housing supply, or do you think many of these policies are actually detrimental to developers in general?
Let's talk about housing supply. The Victorian State Government had mandated over 10 years that they were going to do 80,000 houses. They've not even got into double digits yet. Now, don't start me, right? But at its best, when housing supply was great, the most that was ever built was 67,000 in 1 year. And that's going back a long time ago now, right? So in that, to try and do 80,000 a year, they've got no hope. There is no hope. And there are 40 million reasons why. Land tax is one of them. What will land tax do? Land tax will pump up rental prices. It will create a little bit of a flurry of stock on the market, which won't be necessarily a bad thing because availability is tight. I think once people understand the new normal, that people may either regret selling their property, because if property stays in short supply, it'll only go up, in my opinion. So the land tax is a huge thing, and I'll give you an idea. Without naming the person, but I had this conversation this morning. In 2022, a friend of mine, his land tax bill was $32,000. In 2023, his land tax bill was $94,670.
It's a huge increase.
This year, he's just got it because land taxes are coming out over the next 6 weeks, $125,000.
Whoa.
3 years. It's a joke.
It's unsustainable at some point.
It is an absolute joke.
Yeah.
So, I always try and say I don't want to bag the government, but God, it's so easy to do it. So you have a look, and now they want to bring some potential road tax in on the tunnel. Obviously, the tunnel's well over. And look, I'm not saying that the Liberal Party's any better. All I'm saying is we need people in office that can actually run an economy, because we certainly don't have that. So in land is, what they've done also too is they've done this new government program. I can't think what it's called. Christian, what's that new program called? Future Homes. Thanks. Yeah, so Future Homes, what it does, it allows you to quicken the process of planning. And what it does, it removes some of the stringent policies that are normally associated with going through a normal planning process.
Yes.
Now, there's about 3 or 4 suburbs I can pick off the top of my head, Fairfield, Rosanna, and a few others, where you would normally get you might have a 2-unit site or a 4-unit site. They're now allowing you to do 12 to 14 apartments on them.
Right. Yeah.
So they've changed the setbacks. So the setbacks aren't as restrictive. There's a whole range of things.
So that's one of the positive changes that's come about.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
This is the thing, though.
Yeah.
What has actually happened is that when that came in, the council went and revalued all that land. The land taxes went up immediately.
Yeah.
The owners of those blocks want to do JVs or sell them to developers.
Yes.
The blocks are now priced out high that the developer looks at it and says, why would I take the risk? Not in all cases, because some deals are still good.
Yes.
But to foster a good deal now to what was before tax be 10 times as long. 10 times as long as it used to. So therefore, that all sounds great until that owner gets hit with land tax. And one owner that's just had that done over near Rosanna, when the policies have changed, land tax went up 3.5 times in 2 years. That's just ridiculous stuff. So therefore, when they talk about doing in JVs, etc., what they really want for the dirt is temporarily artificial because of the new planning scheme, right? So in that particular case, and we'll need to get a few off the ground to see whether it's really viable or not, and when the actual planning process does work, because a lot of the planning processes that are implemented by state governments don't function well time-wise. So they say that there's a 28-day turnaround, and then when you read the comments, there's 9 9 items where they get forgiveness if they don't make the 28 days. It makes it arduous again. So you read that, and then you read that, and you go, okay, that sounds really good.
Yes.
You don't help the process, but you got all these outs. So how can I hold the council or the planning department committed to doing a deal when you can balk on me at nearly any time? There's all those sorts of things.
Yes.
So you have a look at it and you go, wow, it's getting harder to do it. That's why, in my opinion, that the supply houses will get no better, no matter what the state government say. The supply of houses will create a rental problem like we've never seen. If people think that we've got a rental problem price-wise now, without being negative, I see at least a 20% growth in rental values over the next year, at least.
Unbelievable.
No, and some people watching this may agree with me and some people won't, but I've been doing this 32 years. I've sort of got an idea. But I can see that coming up. Now, what that will do, though, that will do one of two things. It may push people back into the buying market because of the rent values.
Yes.
What it will also do is a lot of people will start looking at subdividing any potential blocks they've got. And what is happening a little bit, and I've noticed it a bit around here, is people, if it's on a corner block, they're selling the front house, they're cordoning off the block, the second block, splitting in the middle, then they're building a new residence for themselves next door. So they're staying in the same spot, getting a new dwelling and selling the front one.
Yeah.
Now, there's a little bit of that starting to happen, which happened in this area with a company called Gumtree about 25 years ago. They used to do a lot of that. It's now coming back in.
Right.
And guys like Little Fish and a few others do that too pretty well. So in that case, the game I don't see will get any better in that regard. It'll get more and more restrictive to the buyer. That's why new complete forward product, not getting back on Flogging Legacy, but we've only got 8 of them.
Yeah.
One of them's already sold.
Yes.
And we were that the buyer annoyed us that much that he wanted to buy it off market before we released, which I promised I wouldn't do. Right? So, but he just kept on us and on us and on us and on us. And he didn't want to get into the competition rush. But, new complete product at that lifestyle, like we've even got a 3-bedroom apartment in there with a 20 square balcony up top and 165 square metres of backyard.
Yeah.
Unheard of.
Amazing.
Yeah. So, we think we're taking the right gamble.
Yes.
But, now that we're in this market, we wish we could have built 80 of those.